Biology Part 172. Although this is an autonomic reflex response, it may be initiated by higher brain centers so that a mother may secrete small droplets of milk even at the sound of her infant crying. Lactation is inhibited during pregnancy, even though the breasts are well developed, because the production of milk is secretory cells requires the activity of yet another hormone called the procrolactin. Procrolactin is produced by the anterior pituitary during pregnancy, but its activity is inhibited by the high levels of estrogen and the progesterone at this time. It becomes effective just before the birth when the levels of these hormones drop. The first milk produced, called colostrum, is a rich mixture of protein, lactose, white blood cells, serum, and protective antibodies, which provide a useful supplement to the infant's defenses against diseases. Normal human breast milk is a more watery suspension containing fats, protein, salts, and lactose. The secretion of milk continues as long as the mother breastfeeds her baby, even for several years, but it stops shortly after breastfeeding ceases. Parental care involves more than feeding and protecting the infant. Human infants requires a longer period of parental care than other mammals, because it is during this time that most learning occurs. Particularly important is the acquisition of language, for it is primarily the skill communication that enables the knowledge of generations to accumulate and sets human societies on a level far higher in complexity with those of the other animals. Development of plant structure. The following 5 tutorials describe all aspects of the structures and the workings of the flowering plants, excluding the biochemistry of the photosynthesis and classification, which are described respectively. The important features of flowering plants organization could be illustrated by any one of the 1,000 different species in it. Well, in this tutorial, the broad bean Vicia faja has been chosen as the representation example. The life cycle of the broad bean plant outlined in the figure. The bean seed is formed in the pod of the parent plant and, given the favorable condition, will germinate, produce a young plant or the seedling, and the seedling grows to become adult plant, which in due course develops flowers, forms new seeds, and dies, thereby completing an annual cycle of events. The individual cells of the plants do not function independently, but are organized like animal cells into tissues that are the groups of similar cells, performing the same task. Typically, tissues are arranged together in structures called organs. The plants form 4 basic types of organs, namely the roots, stems, leaves, and flowers. This division of labor increases the potential complexity of life activity. For example, if one part of the plant body becomes specialized for anchorage or support, then other parts may become adapted to carry out alternative processes like feeding or reproduction, so that each of these functions is carried out more effectively. Some of the features of plant organs are illustrated, and however, their detailed structure is best understood by tracing the stages in their development from the specialized tissues of the embryo clot.